What's up, YouTube? It's Jack Ruby here. Yeah, I know I need to shave. I'm gonna do that shortly after this. Before I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna shave because I need to. But while I'm actually here, and besides complaining about my facial hair, today I'm going to do my second ever. I'll have to go back on the channel and look quite a ways to find the other one. How would I book? I did it back, I think it was like 5 years ago. I meant for it to be a continuous series, and then I totally dropped the ball. Like, I literally dropped the ball because I literally haven't done another one since. But today I'm going to do how would I book. The first one I did was the Lana Rusev, Bobby Lashley love triangle. If you don't remember that, don't worry. Most of us that remember it don't want to remember it anyways. But okay. So, but as I was saying, I'm actually going to do a before it happens. How would I do it? Which is, if you guys haven't been watching either Bad Blood or SmackDown from Friday, I've watched both because I'm a good boy. I actually watched SmackDown before Bad Blood. But as I was saying, they showed a vignette that said coming soon, which seems to be teasing something. And from my research, because I'm a good boy and I do research, it looks like it is pointing to the Motor City Machine Guns. Yay, that means they're not going to be going into NXT. Yay! That's a good thing. That's one of the things, if they hadn't started those vignettes, I would have said flat out, this is how I would book the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns. I would have said I would not put them in NXT. Put them up on the main roster. Well, if the Lucha Bros were still coming in now, I would have said put them on Raw. Don't know how I would book that exactly, because their tag team division on Raw is kind of weird. But yeah, okay, so we're going to go SmackDown because it looks like that's where they're going to be debuting. And, okay, originally I was talking to Billy Goat last night, I was thinking maybe have them interrupt the Bloodline. But I decided against that. One, if they can, it depends on how big of a rush they are to debut the Guns. Sorry, I'm showing their name from Motor City Machine Guns to the Guns. First of all, I'm going to debunk something right now. Now, if you guys don't know, they've already said that they are keeping the Motor City Machine Gun name. So, it's not going to get shortened to Motor City something or anything like that. No, Triple H is not doing that. He's like, no, we're not doing that. That would be El Stupido. Now, I don't know about the individual names. I'm assuming they're going to keep them too, which is Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. I'm assuming they're going to be able to keep them too. But, okay, so first thing I would do, if WWE can do it, depends on how big of a rush they have debuting them, and I don't know how long it is until SmackDown's in Detroit again, or pay-per-view's in Detroit. Which is, so I'm going to give you a couple of different situations, okay? I'm guessing it would be a pay-per-view, more than likely, if it's in Detroit. I'm just assuming, because I don't think TV goes to Detroit very often. So I'm assuming it's going to be a pay-per-view. And it's not that far away. I'm assuming within the before Mania season, because I'm pretty sure they're going to debut them before Mania. So, say they do get a SmackDown. Well, because the other part of my debut, if they had to rush them quickly, it doesn't really matter if they're in Detroit or not. It would just be better if they were in Detroit. So I'm going to go with, and they're going to be similar. It's kind of similar. I just would prefer they debut them in Detroit. But basically the story is going to be pretty much the same. Which is either have, oh yeah, and by the way, my favorite assistant is with me. Bren. Say hi, Bren. Say hi, Brenly. Silly girl. She's having fun. There's something going on outside. You know, she's being a dog. But what they would do is they would have either Pretty Deadly. Oh, gosh, I don't even know. Are they injured? One of them injured or something? Because we haven't seen them in months. So we'll take them off. Maybe it's their return. They're like, being Pretty Deadly, okay, or as I call them, pretty annoying, because they are pretty annoying. I'm sorry, their voice and their outfit. I'm sorry, I find them annoying. Or Beavis and Butthead. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead. I just thought of that too. Don't copyright me for that, whoever owns Beavis and Butthead, because I actually don't know. Never have been a big fan of that show, but yeah, Beavis and Butthead. Well, I didn't want to call them Dumb and Dumber. Because they're not exactly dumb, so I don't want to call them that. But they would be out at the ring. Let's just say it was Pretty Deadly first. It's like their first big promo back on SmackDown. And they're going to, of course, start in their usual spiel of, first of all, they're going to be like, oh, Pretty Deadly's back on SmackDown. Jeez, are they even still SmackDown? I think they are still assigned to SmackDown. I think. I can't remember. It's been so long since we've seen them. I think they're still assigned to SmackDown. I don't remember. But okay. And they start, like, insulting the fashion and all that of whatever town they're in. And if it's in Detroit, and, of course, then, which brings out the Motor City Machine Guns to, of course, throw barbs right back at them, because that's what the Motor City Machine Guns does. And it would basically be the same thing with Grayson Waller, except for they wouldn't really go after the fashion. They would just, typical Grayson Waller being an arrogant little prick. I mean, he's a funny arrogant prick, but he's not an arrogant prick. And with him, it would be more of him being arrogant. And, maybe a couple weeks before this, you get them on a little bit of a roll, where they've won a few matches against, like, DIY, the Street Profits, something like that. Get them on a roll. For them, you would be getting them on a roll. If they get cocky, they'll be like, oh, besides the Bloodline, there's nobody on SmackDown that can beat us. We're unbeatable. Typical arrogant prick stuff that they usually do. And that's what brings the guns out. Be like, yeah. Throw some barbs at them as usual. And they'd be like, yeah. But you never faced us. Of course, that would probably bring them to go, who are you? The audience would know. They wouldn't. Well, Austin Theory might who know they are, because he's from Evolve, and I think they may have had a match or two in Evolved when he was around. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of that stuff, of who's been where, when, stuff like that. So, of course, that would lead to a match, of course. Probably not that night, because, usually when Grayson Waller's out there for the Grayson Waller effect. Usually. Most of the time, he doesn't have his ring gear on. Austin does. But Theory, Waller usually doesn't. Austin does sometimes. But what I was going to say. Okay, another thing that's nice about the Motor City Machine Guns, me and Billy were talking about this last night, is they're also both accomplished singles stars as well as tag guys. So, say for some reason you need to get the U.S. title off, say they put it on Carmelo Hayes and he hurts his wrist or something, where he has to be out for a little while, but not a super long, to where you need a champion that, needs a 6-month reign. Say he's only going to be out for 3 months or something. You could easily put the U.S. title or something like that on Alex Shelley or Sabin, either one, and and they could handle it till Carmelo gets back, and then he can win the title back. They can be a short-term champion for you if you need them to be. They could also have a long run if you need them to. Long run with tag belts, long run with the U.S. or the Intercontinental title. I mean, they are both former world champions as well in multiple, I think multiple promotions. Not New Japan though. No, in New Japan they've only ever won tag titles. I mean, but they also haven't spent a ton. I know Shelly has a little bit, but I don't think Saban's really spent a ton of time in New Japan, so we won't really count that one. But yeah, so they're both very accomplished singles as well. So that's something in their book that's like, WWE's like, ooh. Plus, or else feels another booking idea just popped in my head literally as I was talking. Because who's on SmackDown? AJ Styles, who is buddies with the Motor City Machine Guns. AJ Styles. So say for some reason, I don't think there really is a 3-man group right now on SmackDown. No, there isn't. But say Carmelo Hayes is say Logan Paul butt comes back, and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Why am I forgetting Austin Theory's name? Come out to join him to beat up AJ Styles. For whatever reason, I don't know. He wants a rematch with AJ or something. And that can bring out the Motor City Machine Guns as well. This could be with the Bloodline too. I forgot about the Bloodline. I'm sorry, guys. Say they're going to have a 6-man tag with the Bloodline. Kind of like they did a few weeks ago where Kevin Owens needed a partner and the Street Profits showed up. But except for it would be AJ Styles going up against the Bloodline. Don't know why, but he would. And and he's like, well, who are you going to team with? Because the OC wants nothing to do with you. They're not around. So who are you going to team with? Or maybe they take out the OC. Yeah. Which is what causes Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, if you need to know who the OC are, which causes AJ Styles to, go after the Bloodline. And AJ comes out for a 6-man tag main event. Because why not make it the main event? Because it's the Bloodline and, because I said so. Walks out. Comes out. Has a mic. He goes and says, and you think that's the only friends I got? And if this is in Detroit, it would be even better. Because he could go off and say a line like, especially in Detroit, Michigan. Because the audience is going to know right when he says, especially in Detroit, Michigan. They're going to know right away who he's referring to. And the crowd's probably going to pop. Because one thing you have to realize, I think, because I know both Saban and Shelly are from Detroit, I'm not sure if they still both live in Detroit anymore. Because wrestlers don't always stay in their hometowns. They might. I don't know. If they do, that'd be kind of cool. Debut in your hometown, the town you live in, that'd be cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I got right now. I will catch you guys later. Peace.